Hi, I'm Danny with eTrailer, and today I'm going to show you how to install the B&W Turnoverball Underbed Gooseneck Hitch on our 2025 Ford F-250 Super Duty. If you're looking for a low profile gooseneck hitch, then this is going to be a great option. It's not going to take up a ton of room like some of those overbed rails will. And when it's not in use, you can flip this over and it becomes pretty much flush with your bed. When you're ready to tow your gooseneck, all you do is there's a bar in here. You can grab it, flip it around. Make sure to put that clip back in on the side of your truck here. And it also has these spring-loaded safety chains where you can pull up and hook up your safety chains too. Here's a closer look at that handle on the driver's side here. So when you are ready to turn over your ball or put it in for towing, you want to pull it back and push it towards the cab, and it'll lock in place. You can put in and out the ball that way. And when you're ready to go, all you want to do is put it back in. A couple important specs to know for your gooseneck is this is gonna come with a 2 5/16 ball, and the vertical load limit is gonna be 7,500 pounds, and that is the max weight that can be pushing down on the gooseneck vertically. And then your gross towing weight is going to be 30,000 pounds, and that's going to be your trailer plus whatever inside of it or on it. But when we're talking about weight capacities, do check your owner's manual on your vehicle and tow what your vehicle is capable of. Another great aspect of this gooseneck hitch is that it's compatible with the B&W companion fifth wheel hitch. That one just has a similar shank, and you can slide it into this opening here, and that will allow you, like our neighbor today is actually opting for, to use a fifth wheel with this same setup. So if you're wanting something where you can easily take it out and have your full bed access, that's going to be a great option. So if you decide to get a gooseneck hitch for your truck, please let us know what you're using it for in a review or comment. But other than that, the installation is pretty in-depth. You're drilling into your bed multiple times. There's a lot of hard to reach bolts to torque. So if that's daunting to you or you don't have the time to do it yourself, feel free to check out our dealer locator and we can find somebody to do it for you. If you're looking to do it yourself, then follow along and we'll walk you through how to do it. All right, to start off our installation, we're going to go ahead and drill our 4-inch hole here in our bed. So we have a dimple in our bed today, knowing exactly where to drill. But if you don't have that in your bed, you can measure from the back of your bed, not your tailgate, and get that measurement. But I'm going to just go by this dimple here. I double checked. It is the right measurement. And I'm going to go ahead and drill a pilot hole here. And now I got my 4-inch hole saw on, and I'm going to go ahead and get this drilled out. Now I'm going to go ahead and file down the edges here, just get all the burrs off. And now I'm going to get a paint marker and clean up all those bare metal. And then I'm going to come back with some clear coat, so this prevents, rusting in the future. So today we have a Ford diesel. So the next step is going to be removing these 4 bolts on this exhaust here because we're going to permanently drop this down. So I'm going to go ahead and loosen these up. And now with my bracket that comes in the kit, I'm going to go ahead and pull this exhaust down so the top hole aligns with this one. Get that on there and get my bolt back in place. Your square hole is you're going to want that on the bottom. And now you're going to want to take your carriage bolt, put it in that square hole, and put your hardware on the back. So now I've just repeated that process on the other side. These are going to be the same bolts that you took out, and this is going to be the only one that comes in the kit. But now I'm going to go ahead and tighten these bottom ones up, followed by these top ones. And I am using a 7/16 wrench to tighten these down. I'm going to use my 10mm and tighten back down these 4 top bolts. I'm on the driver's side here, and you're going to want to locate these wires, these 2 wires here. I'm going to try and unclip them because we will need to relocate these. They'll be in our way. So I'm just going to push up. Try and get those out of there. You may need to unclip them if they're giving you a little bit of difficulty. There we go. All right, and then I'm going to swing both of these around so they're out of our way. So next we're going to have to put our side plates on. There's going to be like a front and back that's going to sandwich onto this frame here. Some vehicles will have one pre-welded on like we do today, but if you don't, you're going to have to use the one in the kit. So now you're going to want to grab your driver's side bracket. It is going to have that sticker with the handle, because that's the side the handle is going to be on. I'm going to go ahead and slide my hardware in with our washer installed. And then put these through our holes in the frame. Now on the other side, you just want to put your washer and your locking washer, followed by the nut. And once I get this hand tight, I'm going to do the other one on this side and do the passenger side as well, getting them all hand tight. We've got our cross members laid out the way they're going to go on the truck. Now I'm going to go ahead and hammer these threaded bushings in. There's going to be a flat part, and you're of course going to want to line that up with the flat part on the cross member and give that a nice tap. You're going to want that to be completely flush on the metal. Now I'm going to do that to the other 3. So now I'm going to want to get my cross members up in here. And this bushing that we put in is going to be facing up towards the bed. And a good thing to note is this welded triangle piece is going to be facing towards the cab, and on the other side it's going to be facing towards the tailgate. So I'm going to slide up this into place, line our holes up, and now I'm going to take this black bolt here and just get this on there. Just get a couple threads started. Now I'm going to slide this last one in place, get it all lined up, and then take our black flange bolt with our thread locker and just get a couple threads on there. Now I'm going to swing these to the side so I can get my carriage bolt in, and do make sure they're all correctly seated in there. And I'm going to do these for the rest. Now you're going to want to get your crossmember brace, and we're near the tailgate here. We're going to slide this into place. Now we're going to get our hardware on. Just a washer, locking washer, and a nut. Now I'm going to repeat that on this one and on the back side. Now you're going to want to get your center section and pull out on your handle and just pull towards you, and it'll lock it into place. And then you're going to want to get your bracket. And this swoopy end is going to be facing up, and you're going to place that on top of there. Now you're going to want to get your hardware, and going up from the bottom, place your carriage bolt in there, and get it tightened down. And now with a 1/2 inch socket, I'm going to go ahead and get them snug down. And at this step, I'm going to go ahead and torque them down as well. Now, if you don't have a torque wrench at home, you can usually rent one from your local auto parts store, or you can buy one from us at etrailer. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this middle section in place. Do make sure that your handle is facing the driver's side. I'm going to go ahead and put this up here. Try and plug around our wires. I'm at the tailgate side here, and I'm going to put in the bolt head facing the cab. All right. And with that through, I'm going to go ahead and put my washer, locking washer, and nut on the end here. Just getting it hand tight. Okay. This last bolt is the only one that's going to be different. All the rest, the heads are going to be pointing towards the cab, but this one that's near the spring, the head's going to be pointed towards the tailgate. But I'm going to kind of depress the spring a little bit so I can get this started. And then the hardware is the same, washer, lock washer, nut. So on the tailgate side here, I'm gonna get my bolt head facing the cab. I'll get my washer, lock washer, and nut on. I'm gonna do the same on this side of it. And now I'm gonna repeat this on the cab side, and the heads will be facing towards the tailgate. So, like this. Get your hardware through your cross member onto your side bracket here. I'm just gonna put that down. Put our washer and lock washer on and get this hand tight. May need to push up a little bit to get you that room. And this next one is going to be facing the other way, just because we were not able to get that in there facing down. This one might be kind of difficult to get your hardware on. And there we go. Now the next two are going to be just like the front one. We're going to put them in with the head facing the bed of the truck. And these may be a little tricky as well. You just put them in sideways and then angle them down in like that. So yeah, sideways, angle them down. Once you have all that hardware hand tight on the driver's side, we're going to do the same process on the passenger side. So next we are going to lift up on this gooseneck here by the center section. The reason we're doing this is because we want to get it into place for when we tighten everything down underneath. We're using our custom built lifting device here, but you can use like 2 buckets, and a 2x4 and a ratchet strap in the middle to get this lifted up. You want to make sure it's flush to the bed but not deforming the bed in any way. And you also want to make sure before you tighten it fully down, it's square to the bed and centered in the hole we drilled. So once you get your gooseneck tied up against the bed, you can go and start tightening everything down. Now there is an order in the instructions that you're going to have to tighten everything down in, so keep that in mind and follow those. But I'm going to go ahead and tighten everything down, get it nice and tight in that order, and then I'm going to go back and torque everything in that same order. You may have to use 2 wrenches to get these first ones down, but I do have a wobble socket and a small impact, so I'm just going to use that today. But I am using a 15/16 socket and wrench. With everything tightened and torqued down, we release the tension on our gooseneck. Now we're going to go and put our handle in. So I'm going to slip it over the frame. Get our holes, square holes lined up. I'm going to put some carriage bolts through the back of here. And get our nut tightened down. Tighten and torque these down. I'm going to go ahead and drill our holes for our safety chain loops. I'm going to take my 5/16 drill bit and I'm going to make sure I get the center, and then I'm going to use a smaller bit and then drill the rest of the way through the top. Just because it's a little corrugated and I want to make sure I get the center. Once I drilled them out to their full size, I went ahead and filed them down, put that paint pen on there, and put some clear coat on there. Do make sure to test fit them before you do all that. But now you can go ahead and place them in, and then we'll attach the hardware on the bottom. You can put your spring on, followed by your nut. Now I got them all hand tight, so I'm going to come back and tighten them the rest of the way with a 15/16, just so they're flush with the bottom of the bolt. Our safety chain loops are spring-loaded and functioning properly. And we went ahead and flipped our lever on our driver's side so we could get our ball in. We also greased it up and slid it into place. And that just about does it for our B&W Turnoverball Underbed Gooseneck Hitch on our 2025 Ford F-250 Super Duty. I'm Daniel with eTrailer. Thanks for watching.